Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend today. I, like you, am an advisor, so I know how hard it is for us to peel away from, meeting with clients and just our day-to-day work in this business. I know how complicated and difficult that is. So again, thank you for attending. I will try to get us out of here as soon as possible, but I have a lot of information to share with you about this exciting new opportunity called the Fiduciary Advisor Network. My name is Rick McClanahan. I am the founder and CEO of the National Association of Certified Financial Fiduciaries. I'm also the founder and CEO of the Foundation for Fiduciary Education, and I am now the founder and CEO of the Fiduciary Advisor Network. And then just to reiterate, I am just like you. I run an active practice here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm an advisor just like you. And so I have a book of business that I manage. And so the things that I'm going to talk to you about today, the program that I've created, or I should say programs that I've created and put together, are not things that I created off of a hypothetical or a theory that they may work. I created all of these things because just like you, I was faced with all of the common issues that we all are faced with, which is not being able to see enough clients consistently, predictably. I've used a lot of different programs that didn't work. I've been a part of a lot of FMOs and IMOs that didn't provide me with any service, anything really, except just collecting commission overrides off of the business that I submitted. So I'm doing all of this, and I put all these things together to eliminate those issues and to selfishly at first to help grow my own practice. I wanted to make things simple and easy, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that now. Again, what I want to talk to you about is the Fiduciary Advisor Network, and we are partnered with a group called Brokers Choice of America. That's an independent marketing organization, an IMO, one of the longest standing. They've been in business now for 33 years, and my partner in this business or business venture is Tyrone Clark. Tyrone is the founder and CEO of Brokers Choice of America. Tyrone has taught over 2,500 seminars in 49 different states and has probably trained more than 50,000 financial advisors and agents on how to sell annuities, how to conduct seminars. And if you've been in this industry for a while, you probably recognize him. He started multiple magazines like Financial Advisor Magazine, 401k Specialist Magazine. I mean, Tyrone has been in this business for many, many years. He's also responsible for starting one of the largest FMOs in the country, which with only 85 advisors as part of or agents as part of that FMO, they were doing somewhere around $850 million in annuity production. So he's a phenomenal person and partner. He's very transparent, and he is definitely somebody that we want to tap into as far as having resources and knowledge that we can share with all of you as part of this program. So here's today's agenda. I'm going to give you an exclusive preview of the FAN, the Fiduciary Advisor Network. Now I'm going to fly at about 30,000 feet here. We're going to touch on just a few items that are offered. We're not going to go deep into them because the idea is that we want to make sure that you get to what's called our Discovery Day. And during that Discovery Day, it's just one day with us in your local area. We'll spend from about 9 a.m. in the morning to about 3 p.m. in the afternoon or so, where we'll literally unpack every single one of these programs and show you exactly how not only can it help to elevate your practice and grow your practice, but we'll show you proof of how we have advisors already in this network who are doing exactly that. The mentality and the underlying message that I want you guys to have today or take away from this is that this is all about finding ways to work smarter, not harder. I'm a former military person, and that's one of the things that was kind of drilled into me and into us as sailors. Everything we did was a linear, straight line to get to accomplish our mission. We cut out fluff. We cut out anything that would take us away from the mission. We stayed laser focused, and we got things done. And so what I'm doing now is exactly that. I transferred the knowledge that I got from the military and the fact that I've been in this industry now as an advisor and an agent for over 30 years. I found ways to streamline this process, streamline the ability to get in front of agent or consumers and prospects, the ability to have systems, create a system that's predictable and reliable and duplicatable so that everyone, no matter what demographic you're in, except the only one that we don't have numbers on is in Alaska. So if you're in Alaska, we may not have the numbers there, but we have numbers in all the other states. We have proof and evidence that this works. And so I will show you that and unpack that in our Discovery Day as well. Of course, this opportunity is limited. This is not a program where we're trying to, recruit thousands of agents. We have areas that we're trying to fill specifically with a handful of agents. We want to keep our network small so that we can pay attention to everyone, so that you do not become just a number like a lot of the other FMOs and IMOs out there. They'll recruit 2,000, 3,000 agents, and by the time they get to that level, and it's kind of, what have you done for me lately? When's the last time you submitted a business, any kind of business through us? It's that kind of thing that I'm trying to avoid. We want to make sure that everyone that's a part of our network and a part of this group has all of the capability, all of the resources, all of the support, and it's constant. We do training, we do coaching, we put these systems together for you and walk you through it step by step, and we stay with you throughout the process, because when you're successful, we are successful. And again, I'm an advisor just like you, so I've tested a lot of different programs, I've tested a lot of different things, and I've done what I call failing forward, which means I don't want to make you be the crash test dummy to find out if my program works. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars over the last several years formulating these processes and really fine-tuning and streamlining them. And the things that didn't work, I lost money on. But I did that so that you don't have to. Now the things that I'm rolling out, I can say with confidence and evidence that these things work. And so I'm excited to share that with you today, but this is a limited opportunity for those reasons. So when we get to the end, if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity to attend what we call a Discovery Day. And from there, like I said, you'll have to be approved. But if you are approved, we'll show you everything, and then we can go from there. So definitely you want to stay to the end here. All right, so as I mentioned, I'm going to reveal today the Fiduciary Advisor Network and what that is and how it applies to you. So what is the FAN? The FAN is a network of top producers who commit to helping investors by ensuring that they receive nothing but objective fiduciary advice and recommendations. We're also a network of advisors who agree to act as fiduciaries and to always put their clients' best interests first. And this, by the way, is timely. Because, I mean, you literally would have probably had to be living under a rock if you're not aware, in this industry especially, of the new Department of Labor fiduciary rule that's being rolled out. We expect that to happen any day now. At the latest, it might be 3 or 4 months from now, but it has already been sent for final approval. It's been out for comment period. They've ended the comment period. And so that is going to happen, and it is going to affect everyone in this business. I don't care if you're an insurance-only licensed or insurance licensed only agent, or you're full-on, Series 65, already considered an SEC fiduciary advisor. This is going to affect you. It's going to affect brokers and anyone else in the space. And so one of the things we'll talk about today is how to leverage all of these things. If you remember the companies that I'm representing, they are all based in a fiduciary status, and that allows you to actually leverage this new DOL rule, because once the word gets out, and this has happened before in the past, when the first rule was sent out, it takes off like wildfire. The consumers start to learn about it, and the investors, and they say, okay, I know now I need to work with a fiduciary. I know that because AARP latched onto it, and they pushed out to their 56 million plus members that if you're going to work with an advisor, you should be seeking someone who is a certified fiduciary, which lays right into what we do as certified financial fiduciaries. So we saw an uptick during that time frame of people who, twofold really, agents and advisors who wanted to get our designation and become certified financial fiduciaries, but also we saw an uptick in consumers and investors, potential clients of yours, who were hitting our directory and looking to work with certified financial fiduciaries. And that's going to happen again, okay, with this new rule as it comes out. So it's very timely what we're offering and what we're showing you today, and how you can actually use it to your advantage and get ahead of it, so that once you're involved in this program, no matter what the rule is, no matter what the rule changes, or if it changes or if it doesn't change, you will already be in compliance and above the compliance standard with all the fiduciary standards that are prevailing fiduciary standards of today. So this is going to give you a major advancement. In addition, though, it gives you an advantage over your competition in your area who are not part of this. And like I said, these are limited seats available for this program in every area that we go to. We have a limited amount of people that we want to take on. There's an approval process. Not everyone will qualify. So definitely, if you're interested, stay to the end and we'll talk to you about that. And the biggest thing too, like I said, is that we want to make a network of advisors who want to help each other grow together. I've been a part of so many different organizations, so many different programs. I've wasted and spent so much money on different programs. And then, like I said, all you do is you wind up paying for the program, and the people who put the program out, just if it doesn't work, they just disappear. You're left holding the bag, and then they're gone on to the next thing. And so I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to do anything like that. So these things are tested, proven, and true. And the advisors that we allow into this network are all going to be on the same team with the same mission in mind, which is to help each other grow and to help the consumer. So this is an innovative way to leverage the DOL rule to your advantage. So why create it? Well, it's the perfect three-piece combination. When you put together our Certified Financial Fiduciary designation, our Foundation for Fiduciary Education, and then the Fiduciary Advisor Network, this is going to give you training, a fiduciary practice model, a reliable and predictable way to see more prospects, and a network of like-minded professionals who agree to work together for the same good. And more importantly, it gives you what I call fiduciary omnipresence, which allows you to control the perception. You know, the biggest thing that happened to us in 2008 and 2009 is that even though we were providing advice for our consumers, for our clients, and we were talking about diversified portfolios, and they did everything that we told them to do, and yet for some reason in 2008, it failed. The diversified portfolio failed its biggest test, which meant that when one sector went down, the other sector was offsetting sector was supposed to go up, and it was supposed to minimize the losses. But what happened was it lost in all sectors. Every sector went down to the tune of 38, 40%. You guys know what happened. And so we lost a lot of credibility. And when we go and tell people what we do, if I sell insurance and things like that, or even if I tell them I'm an advisor, a lot of our clients and prospects are jaded by what happened in 2008 and 2009. So we have to then start doing things now to change that perception and control it. And if you're part of the fan and part of this network, now you are controlling the fact that everything someone says about you puts you in a fiduciary light. It separates you from everybody else who's not part of this organization, who's not a fiduciary or a true fiduciary. And it gives you an advantage both in your communities, but also against your competitors, and it helps you close more business. That is what the fiduciary omnipresence is. And quite frankly, the market is calling for it. We see it every day on our directory. We have people, they're Googling fiduciary, and it sends them to our directory. And when that happens, our certified financial fiduciaries get leads, and our program moves on because people are calling for fiduciaries. And in my opinion, a program is worthless if it's not predictable, reliable, and duplicatable. And the fan has all of that. We've tested this in every market except for except for Alaska, and it works. Okay, so how does it work? That's a good question, right? So it's a turnkey program and system. It helps you grow your practice. It separates you from your competitors. You're going to have unparalleled support, back office and front office. Back office meaning your illustrations, your case studies, your case design, all of that stuff. We have people who work with you to help you build solid cases to present to your customers. And then on the front office, we handle everything from all the collateral that helps you present. We have PowerPoints, we have speakers notes, teachers manuals, we have 24/7 registrations for classes, we have everything, websites, directories, everything is all set up, plus customer service on that aspect or on that side to make sure that you're successful. This eliminates the need for you to create anything. And that is where a lot of programs fail. They give you the bones, and then they expect you to go out and then beat the bushes and try to flesh it out and try to add to it and recreate. You have to tweak your PowerPoints, all these different things that, you don't have time to do that. In this business, and again, I speak as an advisor, I don't have time to recreate the wheel every time I want to do a different program. And that's the thing that you have to eliminate, which we've done. Certification. As a certified financial fiduciary, you're going to have credibility and trust in spades, and I'll talk about that. Experience. You'll have my experience over 30 years in this business, plus me having experience of teaching 6 classes a month. and then being top of the leaderboards and you know, qualifying for conventions and all these other things, these incentive trips. You know, as a top producer, you have that. Plus, you have Tyrone Clark, again, as my partner. And both of us are masters at educational marketing, using workshops, seminars, webinars, live speaking events. We're going to share all of this knowledge with you. The fiduciary nonprofit, I'll talk to you about that. That's a huge piece of what we do to get you in front of prospects who have high net worth, affluent clients. Huge discounts off of any kind of marketing expenses. We have mentorship programs so you can build teams underneath you, and we coach you on how to do that. But if you want to grow that way, we have opportunities for you to do that as well, and receive override, extensive training, bi-weekly training sessions to keep you and your practice sharp, and to help you be successful. Again, we have top producers who lend their time to help make sure if something works, we share it with the group. Okay, so that's one of the things that's good. It's not cutthroat, as you'll find in most other areas of this industry. And of course, we want it to be fun, right? Exciting and fun. We have actionable training conventions where you can foster growth and camaraderie and build on success. So that's how it works. The first thing you have to do, especially now, and especially with the new DOL rule coming out, is we have to be proactive against this whole fiduciary thing. It's not going away. As you've noticed, if you look back, they try to get rid of it, it comes back. They try to get rid of it, it comes back. And it comes back in different iterations. This, I believe, is the 4th iteration over the last 10 years that they've tried to create a rule. But the thing is, it's no longer good enough now to just say, yes, I'm a fiduciary. You actually have to prove it. Clients expect it. And in some cases, the law now is going to require it. So what Zig Ziglar says, every sale has 5 obstacles: no need, no money, no hurry, no trust, and no desire. And this is very important. I'm going to show you really quickly how our program helps you overcome all 5 of these obstacles. Number 1, like I said, it's no longer enough to just say you're a fiduciary. You have to be able to prove it. And what's best about this is if somebody asks you, are you a fiduciary? Which, if it hasn't happened by now, it will at some point. The best thing to be able to say is, rather than say, yes, I am a fiduciary, I have this license, or whatever it is, you can say, not only Mr. and Mrs. Jones am I a fiduciary, I'm actually a certified financial fiduciary. Okay, so that's a whole totally different conversation. When you come to Discovery Day, I'll show you exactly what my pitch is, how I stand up in front of an audience and I tell them how I'm a certified financial fiduciary. I'll also share with you how I conduct my meetings, where how I treat my office like a doctor's office, where I have my assistant allow people to come into the conference room. I allow them to wait for a little bit like you'll do in a doctor's office. And I have collateral material in there that talks about how I'm a certified financial fiduciary, and it's speaking for me before I even get in the room. I'm going to share with you during Discovery Day how we do that. So obviously, being a certified financial fiduciary is going to help you leverage and be in compliance with the new DOL rule. It also establishes a standard of excellence amongst financial professionals, and we created a designation specifically for clients and prospects so that they can recognize that when they're working with you as a certified financial fiduciary, they can have confidence that all of the information, all the recommendations and advice that you give them will always be in their best interest, and you will always put their interest before your own. So we're super excited about that. That's the first step. Why would you do that? Well, first of all, like I said, it establishes trust and credibility with prospects immediately. It's easy for them to recognize who you are without you having to explain your credentials. You know, the alphabet behind your name, we tell everybody, spell it out, put it in your email signature or wherever you use it, spell out certified financial fiduciary, so that when they see that, it speaks for you without, if you just put the acronym behind your name, no one knows what that is. It doesn't matter which one it is. No one knows what it is unless you explain it. So we want to eliminate that. You gain advantage over your other agents and advisors in your area who are not certified. You'll get the knowledge you need to protect yourself, the fiduciary knowledge and training you need to protect yourself, your practice, and your clients. And then, of course, you'll be the fiduciary that your prospects are searching for by getting listed in our directory, where, as I mentioned earlier, thousands of consumers search every day to find agents and advisors with this designation. Okay, so here's an example of that. We had a gentleman who wrote in, and it's amazing. You guys would be so surprised. And once you get involved in this program, you're going to see this firsthand. The amount of information and detail that these people give when they go onto our directory, and inquiring about working with an advisor, one of our certified financial fiduciaries. I guess I'm assuming that it's because it's on a fiduciary website, they feel comfortable in providing this much detail and information. But you'd be surprised. They tell you how much money they have. They tell you what their scenario is, and it's all via like a text message box. It's very interesting to see it happen, but it's so exciting at the same time. This is a gentleman who, long story short, he owned a small aerospace manufacturing company, and he was about to sell it. And he had been running that since 1990, so many, many years. And one of the things, to skip through it, he needed a lot of different things like CPA level stuff, capital gains issues, things of that nature in the sell. But on a personal basis, he points out here, he says, I have about 1.2 million currently in 100% safe investments, earning on average 2.5%. He's 73 years old and would like higher returns. This is ideal. This went to one of our certified financial fiduciaries who later was able to help him. I mean, this is an obvious annuity and even assets under management case here. So this is just an example. Here's another example, Stefan. Now this is interesting because Stefan had literally just gotten and passed his exam for our certified financial fiduciary designation. He was meeting with a prospect, and the prospect had an attorney, an estate planning attorney, who said, you need to find a certified fiduciary in order to handle that aspect of your estate plan. Well, Stefan was able to then show her that he had just had the certification, certified financial fiduciary certification, and he was able to land a $2.8 million account because of that. Part of that went obviously to annuities, and a lot of it went to assets under management. Now, this is just an example, and we have hundreds of these to show you. So, okay, so we talked about Zig Ziglar. Well, obviously, if you're a certified financial fiduciary, you're going to have trust in spades, right? And the trust and the credibility, because again, it separates you from your competitors. And it allows you to speak the language to prospects that they want to hear. They're looking for fiduciary. They want to hear you say that word because they know now what that means. AARP is doing a great job of educating people, especially in our, if you work in the pre-retiree market or retiree market, they are learning what that word means. Okay, so it's not like even if the rule goes away, they're still going to be expecting fiduciaries to work with. So we know that we can handle that. The trust aspect in spades just by becoming a certified financial fiduciary. But what about the other four? And we talk about the fiduciary advisor network and what it'll solve for us, right? So number one, you have to have a predictable program. I talk to so many advisors when we do road shows for this, and so many advisors that I've talked to, and I'm talking thousands. We have almost 1,000 certified financial fiduciaries. I have hundreds of advisors teaching my nonprofits, and it's constant. Plus, we've trained FMOs and IMOs. I'm a speaker, so I speak for FMOs, IMOs all over the country until now that I'm doing my own program here. And what I've learned is that many people say the same thing. I just do not have a way to get in front of clients on a consistent, predictable basis. And so they ask me, Rick, how can I set goals and like try to achieve different things in my life for my family, like buying a different home or a bigger home, and feel confident when I lay my head on the pillow at night that I'm going to have business tomorrow or next week or 3 months from now to make sure that I can continue to pay for these things, this lifestyle, and to take care of my family. And sometimes they have college, kids are going to college, they have those payments and things. And it's very difficult if you don't have a program or a practice that's ran with a predictable manner. It has to be dependable, meaning I have to know that it's going to work in every area that I'm in. Or with my practice. It has to be cost efficient. If you're tired of wasting money and time on programs that don't work, this is how this will help you because we know it works. We have the proof for that. Limitations. If you're tired of limitations from other FMOs and IMOs or broker dealers or whomever who want to prove you for compliance to try a program, things of that nature where they give you so much red tape it's not even worth it, this program is going to be for you. We can free you up of all of that hassle and red tape. Income, if you're tired of not making the money that you desire and you're just scraping by or it's not consistent. If you're making $100,000 in this business and you want to make $300,000 or $500,000 in commission, without a plan, without a predictable and reliable program, it's not going to happen. You can wish for it all day long. You can build a business plan. You can set goals at the beginning of every year, but at the end of the year, you're going to be woefully disappointed again. And I know many of you I'm talking to, because this has happened to me. You know, I was that person. I said, oh yeah, I'm going to raise my practice by 25%. That's my goal. And then I go and do the exact same things that I was doing the year prior, and the exact same results. It's the definition of insanity, actually. So we're going to eliminate that for you. And then a process. We have what we call our 8-step holistic fiduciary practice model. And we know that this works. We know that it's compliant because we actually hired Fred Reish, who is arguably the most renowned fiduciary expert attorney in the country. Anytime you hear about him on the news, hear about fiduciary stuff on the news or anything like that, you'll likely hear that Fred Reish was involved in some way with that. We hired him both to review our course materials for our course, but also to help us put this together to make sure that we have a true fiduciary process model that helps you remain compliant with all prevailing fiduciary standards, but it actually gives you a process, a duplicatable process that you can use and put your clients through. Because here's the main issue. It's a tail wagging the dog type scenario. If you don't have a true practice model process, and if you look at all of the top leaders on all leaderboards of any FMO, IMO, or even in this industry period, one of the things that all of them have in common is that they have a duplicatable process. When they bring a client into their office, they have a step-by-step format. That is good for two reasons. Number one, it's good for the advisor because it becomes habit forming. When you do something over and over and over again the exact same way, it becomes a habit for you and it becomes natural. Then you can get really, really good at it. You become an expert at it, and your clients can recognize and feel that. And that's the other side of it. If you have a process and a way to drive your clients through this process they can understand, they become more comfortable working with you because they even know what the next step is going to be. You can tell them, the next time we meet, this is going to happen. The next time we meet, this is going to happen. And this is my entire process. When you have that happen, you can duplicate your effort and you can duplicate and increase your production predictably because you're doing the same thing over and over. And we provide that as part of our process. And of course, you'll be surrounding yourself with top fiduciary producers in the fan, and then you can watch how fast your program will grow. We put the full force and power of all of our resources behind you and this network. So how exactly will it help you see more prospects and close more business? One of the things we do right off the bat is we do what's called fiduciary community integration. Essentially what that is in a nutshell, and again, I'll unpack this during the Discovery Day, which is why you definitely want to attend, okay? I'm giving you a high level information here. I'm not going to unpack all this stuff, but I want to show you exactly how we do it, what the steps are. But we have, through press releases and other communications, a way to make you kind of famous in your area. This is also why we have limited availability in every area, because we can't do this for everyone. We can't saturate a market, and we don't want to, because it's not sustainable if we do. But by doing so, by limiting the amount of people that we have in each area, and then also by making you famous in your area, that's going to mean that churches in your area are going to know who you are, businesses are going to know who you are, organizations, news channels, everyone in your area is going to know not only that you're a fiduciary in that area, a certified financial fiduciary, but that you're part of the Fiduciary Advisor Network and you're part of the Foundation for Fiduciary Education. The fiduciary omnipresence will be provided, and that's part of what we do. I'll show you how during the Discovery Day. We also have what we call a fan plan. This is something kind of unique because we have demographics in every single area, as I mentioned, besides Alaska. So if you say I want to add $500,000 or $5 million in production to this year, and maybe it's annuity production or asset under management or a combination of that and life insurance, we can show you from that goal. I can go backwards from that, and I can then factor in your particular area the number of classes that you would need to teach. I can factor in the type of class, the topics, and based on your closing percentage, how good you are at closing, I can tell you how many classes you need to teach to hit goal. And that's what we call a fan plan. That's exclusive to members of the fan. We can plug it in, and now you have a path. That gives you a true path, a true north direction, as I mentioned, a linear path to accomplish your mission of whatever that goal is. And that's what this is, and we can help you with that. I'll show you that and give you a true formula for success. I'll show you how we do that during Discovery Day. Our BizOps program, this is another vertical. It allows you to teach classes in businesses, churches, and organizations. We have one vertical where we teach in colleges and in libraries, right? So you have that, which we control predictably. We know exactly how to put the butts in the seats to do that for you. Then we give you a vertical to be able to take collateral and teach in businesses and organizations. And then on top of that, we have another vertical, which is artificial intelligence. If you're not incorporating artificial intelligence into your practice at this point, you are falling woefully behind and missing the boat. But thankfully for you, this program is going to do that for you. We have a way to help set up 24/7 classes. That means someone that can watch one of your classes at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then when you wake up, you'll have a lead saying someone watched that. You can reach out to them, start a dialogue, and then next thing you know, that prospect is going to convert to a client. But when you run all three of these verticals together, it's almost impossible. Like, this is what I call massive action. It's almost impossible not to be successful, but it's things that you can't necessarily do by yourself. There's too many moving pieces, but we've perfected this, and we can put this engine behind you if you're part of the network. We have a women's mentorship program. One of the things we want to do is make sure that we're diverse. We want to make sure we bring more women into this organization. And if you are a woman and you're looking to get into an organization, we have different programs for you. We have specific classes that we can create for you. And also we can give you an ability to mentor other women who want to get in. I'll talk about that in the Discovery Day. We also have a general mentorship program for anybody that just wants to raise junior agents, advisors, instruct them on how to get in the business. You're going to be so excited to see that, because again, it's a turnkey process we've set up for you. And then finally, this is the main driver. This is our Foundation for Fiduciary Education. This is a true IRS approved 501c3 nonprofit organization specializing in teaching financial education classes throughout the country in libraries, colleges, businesses, organizations, etc. We provide you with everything. We, on average, can get you in front of 15 to 25 households. So that would be maybe on the lower end, 30 people in a classroom, on the higher end, 50 people in a classroom. But for me, my sweet spot when I'm teaching is about 30 people in the classroom. I prefer that because I can then have communication with the people in the back of the room. So I'm not worried about them ruffling papers or talking amongst themselves. If the classroom is too big, you'll find that happens. It's very difficult to manage that, as opposed to a smaller, more intimate classroom. And what that does is it gives you higher appointment ratios, higher appointment percentages, and it allows you to convert more. Most of the people who come to our classes, because we're not doing dinner, we're not feeding anyone or anything like that. It's an academic style, and it's taught in libraries, colleges, places like that. And so it attracts naturally more affluent clients who have usually net worth of over $1 million. Okay, and the reason that is because people who are affluent like that, they don't need the chicken dinners. Nor do they really want to be around and try to learn around people who do need that, because they're on two different levels. It's not to say anything negative about dinner seminars or the people that attend them, but it just, we attract a different type of person, because these are people who typically, if you're teaching in a college or even in a library, these people they've gone to those places. Many of them have graduated from colleges, so they are more than happy to go back and learn in those types of places. And that's why you're going to see a different type of clientele there. For some of our classes, we know that you're definitely going to get a highly affluent audience, because they even pay to come to see. We charge a tuition for some of our classes, and they pay to actually come to see you. So they're serious about the information that you're going to provide to them. And plus, when you mix in the other programs that I just mentioned, like, you're going to be off to the races in the fan. So here's what it solves. As I mentioned, it's a nonprofit organization. The classes on average are between 1.5 to 2 hours long. No meals are served. You're going to get credibility by being viewed as an instructor as opposed to a salesperson, which, again, working smarter, not harder, right? I want to change the perception. I want to control the perception. I want people to know that I'm an instructor first. I'm teaching them. And then we show you how to convert from being an instructor to actually your for-profit business and closing the business. We have an entire system set up for that, which we'll show you during the Discovery Day. Average premium for each workshop is about $450 if you do annuities, but it also provides life insurance premium and assets under management. And we know, again, that it works. So you're going to get all kinds of things, personalized class setup assistance, discounting marketing costs, exclusive course materials, AI creation, automation, and much more. And we unpack all of this during the Discovery Day. Here's some proof for you. And I'm going to show you a couple of different case studies here. Number one, I'm going to show you this one is one of our top producers, one of our highest producing producers. But a lot of places and programs will try to sell you a program based on their top producer. And the problem with that is that what that person's doing usually can't be duplicated. This person's been in business a lot of times 35, 40 years. They have tax practices and all these other things that they got going that generates leads for them. And then they plug into a program and then they try to sell it that way. We don't do that. You know, I'm going to show you both our top producer and I'm going to show you somebody that was brand new and what they did as well. Here's a person who called my bluff. He said, Rick, your program sounds really good. I've heard a lot of programs like this though, and they don't work. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell everyone. And I said, okay, I'm up for the challenge. So he did 2 mailer campaigns. So on one mailer, he put 3 class dates, and on the next mailer, he did 3 class dates for a total of 6 class dates. Out of those 6, he got, and then this is at the time that we collected the information. Since then, he's definitely done more than this. But he collected a little over 2.1 million in premium. His expenses was $7,200. So if you split that in half, that's about what he paid for each one of his campaigns. $277,000 in commission. If you net out what he paid for it, he made $270,000 off of that. Who wouldn't pay $7,000 to net $270,000? I would do that every day and even twice on Sundays. He also pulled in about $4 million in assets under management. So if you look at a 1% management fee on that, that's another $40,000 roughly annually in recurring revenue off of a $7,000 investment. Here's another gentleman. He did 1 mailer. He put 2 class dates on it. He pulled in around 2.5 million in premiums collected so far. He only spent about $4,700 on the campaign, and he netted out about $128,000 so far. Who wouldn't spend $4,700 to make $128,000 net? And that was just at the time that we took this. He was still collecting. So he's done much more than that. And then this is a new person, and I'll tell you who this is here in just a moment. But this was her first time. She had just become a certified financial fiduciary. She had also just gotten into the system and you know hadn't had any real experience. And she spent about $4,300. She brought in on her first set of commission was $32,000, and she netted out $27,000. You know, so I'd spend $4,000 to make $27,000 all day long as a new person. Now her closing percentage was a little low. And it was challenging for her because she was in a place where the people that she was seeing were highly affluent. They had $2 and $3 million or more in assets. And, you know, she was new. So, you know, we're working with her to improve her closing ratio. But even, you know, just starting out, she's not doing too bad at all. This is Johnny Rozier. Now, Johnny is another person. He's one of our top producers. Johnny says, you know, he joined. He says this should be mandatory. You know, Johnny set a goal last year to do 20 million. He actually exceeded that goal at 23 million. This year, he set a goal to do 26 million, and he's already on track to do 30 million actually, and he'll hit that number easily. Johnny uses our program consistently. Every month, he's in front of people, he's teaching classes, he's using our verticals, he's doing all this stuff, and he is certainly, like I said, he says it should be mandatory. This is Kayla. This is the example that I showed you. Kayla is actually in California. So like I said, she's getting in front of people between $2 and $5 million in assets. We're working with her to help her on her closing ratios. She's going to do phenomenally well. And she also believes that this, you know, this is the way to do it. It's working smarter, not harder. Let's put you in front of a lot of people who are qualified. Let's not waste your time with people who aren't qualified. You can get in front of 60 people doing, I won't name their names, but there's digital marketing companies out there that'll put a bunch of people in front of you, and they'll charge you $200 or $300 a head for everybody that attends. But then you've got to weed through all these non-qualified people to get to the 4 or 5 that might be, and that's a lot of wasted time. As opposed to us, where 90% of the people that attend your class are all qualified. So you're not wasting any time with anyone that you're seeing. Kayla is an example of that. So again, we talked about what the vertical was and how to do it. When you put these 3 things together in the fan, I'm telling you, it works. It gives you, we talk about the obstacles that Zig Ziglar has. No need, no money, no hurry, no desire, no trust. Well, we know through our program that people have a need because of the demographic and the topics, right? If it's Social Security, we know we send it to the right people. We know they have a need. They're about to turn 62. Same thing with Medicare. They're about to turn 65. We have classes for that. Same thing with retirement planning. We can send out classes to the right age of people there. So we know they have a need. We know they have money because we only send to people who meet our demographic. That's why we have such a high net worth attending our classes. we know they have a hurry because, again, depending on the class topic and the fact that they come to our classes, we know they have a desire because we're not feeding them, we're not providing any incentives, and we're teaching in academic style formats, and these people are coming. So they have a hurry, and they have a strong desire to do this. We know also they have a desire and a hurry because a lot of times in some of our classes, they actually pay to come. These are people who have something serious on their mind. They have a problem or an issue that they're trying to resolve, they're trying to get answers for, and they're going to come to you to get those answers in your classroom, and then after that to you in your practice to get the solution. And then, of course, with the fiduciary designation, you have trust in spades. So let me ask you, if you could eliminate all 5 of Zig Ziglar's sales obstacles every time you met with a potential client, do you think it would help you grow your practice? I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? Absolutely it would. And then, of course, teamwork makes the dream work. With all the systems and processes we're going to provide you, the fan puts your practice on steroids. It's not possible. If you follow along with our program and our coaching and you're one-on-one with us and our team, it's almost impossible not to be successful. And so, we're going to put all of our resources behind you to make sure. Now, this is what it looks like. Here's the verticals. You have the designation, you have the foundation, and you have the fiduciary advisor network. Now, don't be afraid of getting a designation. Here's the thing. It's not one of these drawn out 18-month scenarios where you got to study for 18 months or whatever to try to pass this thing. It's not like that at all. Now, it is an accredited designation, third-party accredited by ANSI. So this is not some crackerjack accreditation that we created in our garage just to, have a designation or initials behind our name. We actually went through the process of getting it accredited. So it is a valued and recognizable. We're one of only 11 designations in the country that are listed on FINRA's website that are actually accredited. That puts us up there with the CFP designation and others. Okay, so this is not a crackerjack designation. However, it is concisely done to where you can get it done within 4 to 5 days. We have had people who have signed up and gotten it done signed up on a Friday, took in their test on Tuesday and passed it. So it's not something that could take a long time. Plus, we'll have scholarships for you if you're joining the fan in terms of the cost, and we'll talk about that, what that is during Discovery Day. And we'll also have special classes that we can actually train you live to expedite the process for you to get certified. So when you put these 3 things together with you, okay, you cannot help but be successful, as I mentioned, and we are all better together. Now, let's talk about the exciting part. It's Discovery Days. We've got Discovery Days coming up in your area. And when you click the link below, all you have to do is there's a quick questionnaire. It's a qualifying questionnaire because, again, we have limited spots available for this, both in the venue, but also in the area, right? We want to make sure that you're qualified because we're not just taking anybody. This isn't that type of program. We want to make sure that we can pay attention to you and spend time with you and coach you and make your practice better. Because of that, we're not going to have 1,000 agents or advisors as part of this program. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so you have to fill out the questionnaire to see if you qualify first, right? And then once you do that, we'll notify you and say, hey, yes, you are qualified based on your answers. We'd love to have you come to the Discovery Day. We'll give you all the logistics. You'll see that on the next page anyway. Once you get there, it'll tell you where we're going to be. And the location, the venue, all of the logistics on that will be provided. This is free, by the way. We will provide you with lunch, but to attend the Discovery Day is free. There's no fee or charge or anything like that, but the seating is limited. So definitely it's first come, first serve. Once you see this on the next page, what I want you to do is we'll see you at the Discovery Day. Okay, it's easy. Like I said, click the link below and it'll take you through a survey process. From there, one of our staff will email you, let you know whether you're qualified or not, and then you have all the logistics as well below. So thank you again for your time, and hopefully we'll see you in the Discovery Day.